I'm here. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM coming up, the Open Eye. All right, we ready to get them started here. All right. Hey, Steve, I see you, bro. All right.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because the chains of oppression on our people's minds are deep and difficult.
Hey, Sherry, I see you, sister. All right. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist and host, here to get your eye open. We're going to do that right here in the community today. Join us today for a March for Unity in our community. That's right, that's today. Today at noon until 2, we will meet at 10th and Walnut Street, walk through the east side, and return to 10th and Walnut Street. Yes, there will be cash for trash. Turn trash bags in at patio and back of WHGE radio station on 9th and Pine Streets. Stop drug and alcohol abuse in our community. Stop bullying. Stop the gun violence in our community. Stop domestic violence in our community. Stop homelessness. That's today at noon, 10th and Walnuts. Be there or be square. That's right. We are WHGE 95.3 FM. The Advocacy Education Station. Let me get my disclaimer out the way, all right.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye with Patrice Gibbs. And as I've been making it a point to start out, every generation has its purpose. Ours is to reveal the truth and reverse the brainwashing. That's right. We do that here on the Open Eye. If you've been a regular listener on the Open Eye, I'm pretty sure, whoa, a little loud here, all right. I'm pretty sure that brainwashing has slowed down, all right. You know, one of the things we deal with is the whitewashing of our history. There is a myth that goes around that this group called the original Dixieland Jazz Band were the founders of jazz. There was a group of white men who played some hokey, sorry-ass imitation of jazz. That's the only way to put it. I would compare the original Dixieland jazz band in jazz. They are to jazz what Pat Boone is to rock and roll. Okay, I hope that gives you an understanding. Now, there's a gentleman, his music we've never heard, he never recorded. There's a guy by the name of Buddy Bolden. Buddy Bolden was basically Louis Armstrong's musical father. Buddy Bolden is the root of jazz. You know, a lot of us say, you know, you can't really pinpoint where it started. Buddy Bolden came up with the Big Four. Buddy Bolden is said to be the first musician to play jazz, and some people might debate that. It is clear that Bolden's music helped form the jazz movement. Primary reason, Buddy Bolden came up with the Big Four. For those of you that aren't musicians that don't understand that, music is in fours. One of the keys to playing music is being able to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? What Buddy Bolden did with the Big Four was he put emphasis on the 4. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay? And that opened up the music. Bolden was born on September 6, 1877 in New Orleans, Louisiana. A big surprise there. Bolden began to play the cornet as a teenager. For those of you that don't know, the cornet is basically a trumpet. He joined a small New Orleans dance band led by Charlie Galloway. It was at Galloway's barber salon that Buddy Bolden honed his technical skills as a musician. By the age of 20, he left the band to begin his own group. Buddy Bolden's band was formed with Bolden as the cornet player, 2 clarinet players, 1 guitarist, 1 bass player, and a drummer. No one in the band could actually read sheet music. So all compositions played were either copied from other bands or created on the spot. That's an important point there, created on the spot, helping to generate the spontaneous improvisation that would become a hallmark of jazz. At one of the band's first public performances in 1898, Bolden chose to play Home Sweet Home at a send-off of American troops bound for Cuba during the Spanish-American War. The sentimental song nearly sparked a mutiny by the troops, who were reminded of their destination and the fact that some of them would never return to the United States. From that point, Home Sweet Home was banned as a performance at any military zone send-off. With the notoriety of that incident, Buddy Bolden's band soon became enormously popular in New Orleans and across the South by the beginning of the 20th century. Our band members became noted for their improvised performances. Buddy Bolden, pioneer jazz. Make no mistake about it. All right. Let's see, I got my disclaimer out the way. Let me do this right quick. We're going to take a quick musical break, and I'm going to come back with some. Whoa. Hey. All right, got a little. All right. Yeah. And I'm going to come back with some more for you. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM. Dove and I. All right, Brother Barr, I see you on there. Thank you for tuning in. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Okay, you know, it's something, we have culture vultures out there. And one of the things that people like to steal from us is our hairstyles. I've seen Caucasians wearing dreadlocks, and really they look really matted. They don't look like ours. Okay? And when they've been accused of cultural appropriation, they say, oh, no, this hairstyle started with the Vikings in Europe. I'll be damned. No, it didn't. The first known examples of the hairstyle date back to ancient Egypt, where locks appeared on Egyptian artifacts. Mummified remains of ancient Egyptians with locks have been recovered from archaeological sites. The Old Testament also recounts the tale of Samson and Delilah, in which a man's potency is directly linked to the 7 locks on his head. And according to Roman accounts, the Celts were described to have hair like snakes. Germanic tribes, Greeks and the Vikings are all said to have worn locks too, but that's not where it started. Rastafarianism, however, is something entirely separate. It was born in the 1930s when Rastafari was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia. Okay? You know him as Haile Selassie. When the emperor was forced into exile during an invasion, guerrilla warriors swore not to cut their hair until the emperor was reinstated. The religion resonated with the ideologies of the day, for example, socialism, Marxism, nationalism, and black power. It was therefore seen as a threat to Christianity and came under attack by the authorities that tried to suppress the Rasta movement and imprison those who possessed ganja. Rastafarians smoked cannabis because they thought it prompted a clear state of well-being. Their locks were thought to be disgusting and frightening, hence the term dread, which was later reclaimed by the Rasta community. The hairstyle was later brought into mainstream culture through the worldwide success of reggae artist Bob Marley. Sporting locks himself, he prompted an international interest in the style and the anti-establishment philosophy of the Rastafarian culture. Locks became increasingly popular, and there are many reasons in various cultures for wearing them. Okay? Started in ancient Egypt, popularized by the Rastafari. Selassie Rastafari respects him. All right. Moving right along, I want to thank Brother Latif Amin for this. Okay, the brother that I got a lot of respect for. He gives us a quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is what he says. Funny how millions of people on the internet platform where they can communicate instantaneously with people on the other side of the world using incredibly powerful handheld computers, which our phones are, linked to orbiting satellites hundreds of miles in space, don't believe in science. That's right. You heard me right. Don't believe in science. Walking around with a handheld computer and don't believe in science. People, like I said, that quote is from Dr. Neil deGrasse. Brother Hameen goes on to say, the resource I go to for science information, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Tyson's professional research interests include star formation, exploding stars, dwarf galaxies, and the structure of the Milky Way. Like his friend, Dr. Carl Sagan, Dr. Tyson also played an important role in popularizing astrophysical concepts and discoveries. The difference between non-science and pseudoscience is that non-science is exactly what its name implies, non-scientific. Pseudoscience is a scientific claim that cannot be supported by any scientific data. Family, do not believe everything you read or hear put out there on social media, including all the various rumor platforms, including YouTube. Truth is not about the number of hits a rumor gets. Do your own due diligence, research, before gullibly believing and spreading BS. Thank you, Brother Hameen, for that. All right, moving right along. Brother Miss Ba, see you. All right, all right. Okay, let's get right here. All right. Moving right along. You know, often when we have incidents in our community, police shootings, what have you, of course it breaks out into protests, and sometimes protests go south, and there's looting. Now, sometimes that which is called looting is about survival. For instance, we will never forget Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, where people in desperation were going to stores and merchandise establishments to get what they need. And of course, the whites were called survivors and the black people were called looters. Well, if looting is so bad, I guess the world got to give Africa back its diamonds, gold, minerals, animals, education, and its people. Got such a problem with looting? The thing is, as you know, we were kidnapped, stolen from Africa. And there's always a problem returning stolen goods. 3 plagues, 3 contagions threaten the world. The first is the plague of nationalism. The second is the plague of racism. Those two really go right together, don't they? You get white Christian nationalism. The root of that is racism. The third plague is the plague of religious fundamentalism, which goes right in with the first 2. All 3 share one trait, a common denominator, an aggressive, all-powerful, total irrationality. Anyone stricken with one of these plagues is beyond reason. In his head burns a sacred pyre that awaits only its sacrificial victims. Every attempt to calm conversation will fail. He doesn't want a conversation, but a declaration that you agree with him, admit that he is right, join the cause. Otherwise, you have no significance in his eyes. You do not exist. For you to count only if you are a tool, an instrument, a weapon. There are no people. There is only the cause. A mind touched by such a contagion is a closed mind, one-dimensional, monothematic, spinning around one subject only, its enemy, or its perceived enemy. Thinking about our enemy sustains us, allows us to exist. That is why enemy is always present, is always with us. That's from the book Empire by Richard Kapuscinski. Right? 3 plagues of painful accuracy today. 1993 prophecy from the book Imperium. The most passionate, engaging, historical, profound account of the collapse of the Soviet Union Empire. This is by the Polish journalist Ryszard Kapuscinski, who was considered by many to be one of the best reporters of the 20th century. You know, we often, in this era, talk about reparations. And of course, when that comes up, you find that something like 60 to 65% of the American population is against reparations for Africans in America. And they always come up with, you know, the main excuse is, well, if we pay out reparations, you know, there are some, 40 million black people in the country. When we pay out reparations to all these black people, it's going to break the American treasury. It's going to break our budget. It's going to break America. You know what? That is the biggest crop that we ever. How is it that we got $75 billion to send to the Ukraine? 14.3 billion in aid. This is yearly to Israel. 10.6 billion for assistance. In Afghanistan, 72.7 billion spent. Billions. The bill in Iraq is up to $2 trillion. And I'm not sure if that counts the money that was stolen. Or as the Pentagon says, misplaced. How in the hell you misplaced over $1 billion? 21 billion to white farmers. And most of that money was paid to them not to grow food. You know how much we spent on COVID? $2.6 trillion. 39 billion for the drug control budget. The CARE Act stimulus, $2.3 trillion. There was a time we didn't even talk about trillion. You can't even grasp your mind around $1 trillion. 877 billion for the defense budget. You talk about throwing good money after bad. Somebody stands up with a shovel and just shovels the money into the Pentagon. And they run around grinning and smiling and what have you. Where they getting this money? Spent $20,000 in reparations for each Japanese American for the families that were interned in World War II. So this idea that paying reparations, much deserved, very much late, to African Americans has nothing to do with busting the budget. See, I mentioned this before. I really understand the motivation of white supremacy not wanting to pay reparations to African Americans, because I am not going to fund your empowerment. I don't give a damn what I did to you. I don't give a damn how wrong I was, how vicious I was, how racist I was. I am not going to fund your empowerment. And that is a white supremacy stance. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye, with your host, Patrice Gibbs. And it goes on and on and on with these white supremacists. A white gunman opened fire inside a Walmart in Ohio and wounded 4 people before killing himself, according to AP, Associated Press. Associated Press says he may have been motivated by racist extremism, according to the FBI. He may have been, 4 shoppers, 2 black women, a white woman, and a white man were wounded in the attack at the Walmart in Beaver Creek, a suburb of Dayton, just days before Thanksgiving, according to the FBI. Evidence, including journal writings, showed the shooting may had been at least partially inspired by racially violent extremist ideology. The shooter, identified as 20-year-old Benjamin Charles Jones of Dayton, entered the store Monday night carrying a high .45 caliber carbine long gun. He shot an undetermined number of rounds, leaving injured victims throughout the building before turning the weapon on himself. Yeah, these cowards always turn the weapon on themselves, don't they? Mm-hmm. The Associated Press attempted to reach out to relatives of Jones, and they were unsuccessful. Jones bought the gun 2 days before the attack at a store in Dayton, the FBI said. Investigators said they were checking whether he provided any false information on his background check form and also continuing to look into his background and online activity. Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what? This is what they do. This is what, look, this has been going on with these white identity extremists. In 2019, a white gunman killed 23 people at a Walmart in El Paso in a racist attack that targeted Hispanic shoppers. Walmart soon after discontinued sales of certain kind of ammunitions. It also asked that customers no longer openly carry firearms in its stores. The retailer now sells only hunting rifles and related ammunition. The store in Ohio where Monday's shooting took place was the scene of a fatal shooting involving police almost 10 years ago. A white police officer shot 22-year-old John Crawford III after he picked up an unpackaged pellet rifle. You remember that? This was a pellet rifle that was on the shelf at the store. His family reached a settlement of $1.7 million with the city of Beaver Creek. The settlement included changes in police policy. Okay. And what are we going to do about it? March, pray, protest. Keep it going. That's what we're going to do about it. Mm-hmm. You all remember former officer Derek Chauvin, who was convicted in George Floyd's killing? Well, according to the Associated Press, he was stabbed in prison. Yeah, Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd, was stabbed by another inmate and seriously injured Friday at a federal prison in Arizona. The attack happened at the Federal Correction Institution, Tucson, a medium security prison that has been plagued by security lapses and staffing shortages. The person was not authorized to the person that told this was not publicly authorized to discuss details of the attack and spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity. All right. The Bureau of Prisons confirmed that an incarcerated person was assaulted at the Federal Correction Institute in Tucson at around 12:30 p.m. Friday. In a statement, the agency said responding employees contained the incident and performed life-saving measures before the inmate who they did not name, but we know was Chauvin, was taken to a hospital for further treatment and evaluation. Messages seeking comment were left with Chauvin's lawyers and the FBI. No comment was forthcoming. Mm-hmm. Derek Chauvin. Medium, he should be in a high security prison after the casual way that he murdered George Floyd. Mm-hmm. What's up, Tracy? I see you right on time, sister, because I'm getting ready to talk about something that you brung up. Jordan Russell Davis. This is from Sister Tracy Yadifili. I'm sorry, Tracy, I'm mispronouncing your name. I have to call you up and get the correct pronunciation. All right. Jordan Davis was a 17-year-old who held the dreams and ambitions of his parents, friends, and community. He was tragically murdered on the 23rd of November, 2012 by Michael David Dunn, a white man who complained that Jordan and his friends were playing their music too loudly at a gas station. Dunn fired multiple shots into Jordan's friend's vehicle, hitting Jordan 3 times, killing him. Dunn was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Yeah. Since Jordan's killing, his mother, Representative Lucy McBath, has become a member of the House of Representatives, where she is a passionate advocate for gun control and racial justice. Jordan Davis should be alive today. He should be enjoying time in his community and living out his dreams. Instead, his name is on a long list of black children murdered by white adults for simply being children. Jordan was listening to music and hanging out with his friends. He should still be doing these things. And may he rest in peace. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. Be right back with Nsoromma. Hey, chop, door open. I know. Hey, they out there? They up there. Harden was out there. No. He was when I came in. Oh, shit, ain't nothing here. They left the door wide open. I know. He said leave it open. He left it no. Don't lock the doors. Please do not lock on doors. That's where. Hey, can you bring that a little closer and turn me a little more fuller in there? Now you can slide it up somewhere. This way. Yes, there you go. All right. Does that still fit us in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll lean into it. Yo, Miss what's up? Jordan, Tracy, I see y'all. What's good? Morning,
brother.
Big
Jordan
Steve.
there.
Yeah, James. Yeah.
WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. Patrice Gibbs in the house, and joined by my partner in consciousness, our intellectual surgeon, Nsoromma. What's up, brother?
Yaga.
Good morning. All right.
Hello, world.
All right.
Yeah.
We heard talking about what these police do.
I heard you, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I don't know if many of you remember the General Soul, Elijah McClain.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop that was involved in his murder, Nathan Woodyard, was charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. He was acquitted in the second trial of police officers. Murdered that boy. And for those of you that don't remember Elijah McClain, I'll give you a little on him. Mr. McClain died days after he was detained by police in August 2019. His death has come to occupy a central place in Colorado's fast-moving debate over police reform. Elijah McClain died after Aurora, Colorado police restrained him with a now banned carotid hold in August of that year. That was in 2019. As outrage over police brutality erupted across the country in the wake of George Floyd's death, a wave of fresh attention and scrutiny was applied to older cases in which people died after encounters with the police. One such case was Elijah McClain, 23-year-old black man who died in 2019 after police restrained him with a chokehold that has since been banned. 2 years after his death, a Colorado grand jury indicted 3 police officers and 2 paramedics on charges, including manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Mr. McLean was walking home from a convenience store when someone called 911 saying he looked sketchy.
He was sketchy.
Yeah, that's why he was murdered. For looking sketchy.
Yo, that's ridiculous, man.
He was wearing a ski mask and waving his arms. In Colorado. You ever been to Colorado?
Yeah. It's cold as cold.
It's cold.
Wow.
That's where you got mountain lions wearing ski masks in Colorado. Are you out your goddamn mind?
Yo, man, that's crazy.
Jeez.
They probably had on ski masks.
Yeah.
The police.
They jumped on him, brought him to the ground, and they used a carotid hold, which restricts blood to the brain that renders someone unconscious. And then when medical responders arrived, okay, this was the real dirt right here. When they got there, they injected him with ketamine, a powerful sedative. Okay, if that's not just straight up purpose, and he went into cardiac arrest at the hospital and died a few days later.
Tell me all of them is in jail right now.
No.
They got punished or something. They got fired.
I just told you one of them got acquitted. The other one is still had a hung jury.
Wow. Where's the people justice, man?
Where's the justice at, bro?
We have to start getting together and formulating our own justice and going after, for our own justice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just did something in Mississippi separating the justice courts. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Well, it's basically white people got their court and black people got their court, and all the black officers is not supposed to stop white people.
This is in Jackson.
What's
Jackson, Mississippi.
That's why we need our own regime.
They formed their own. They formed their own courts for the upper crust of white people.
What you call them?
Upper crust of white people in Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow, yo, that's crazy, yo.
Yeah.
The world is separating us. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some bad things happening.
And that's word. I see you, brother Roger.
Raj, what's good?
It's one thing that they do things to you on the street.
Right.
Till you on the street. Mm-hmm. But in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all right, they take people to what they call the torture warehouse.
A torture warehouse.
Yeah. There have been a set of lawsuits filed against the Baton Rouge Police Department, some of its officers in the city. These lawsuits reveal shocking allegations of physical abuse, torture, and sexual humiliation by police officers against black individuals in custody.
Wow.
That's the real crazy. That last part, sexual humiliation. What kind of nasty people are they?
You know they rapists and
Yeah.
Yo.
They wanna to take you into custody and then do something freaky to you.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Now these lawsuits were obtained by Atlanta Black Star, and they were filed by Turnell Brown and Jeremy Lee in the United States District Court for the Middle District of Louisiana.
Wow.
Both complaints provide details of heinous abuse, with a location referred to as the Brave Cave.
The Brave Cave?
Yeah, which is described as a torture warehouse or a black site. Okay, and it was where certain Baton Rouge officers took detainees, cut off their communication with the outside world, denied them legal counsel, and then subjected them to physical beatings and sexual humiliation.
And that police station is not shut down.
No.
They had haven't been punished or accounted for.
No.
Yo, that's ridiculous, man.
No. And
that's ridiculous.
All right, these officers named in the suits include former officer Troy Lawrence Jr., Matthew Wallace, Joseph Carboni, and police chief Murphy Paul. The police chief was named in the lawsuit.
Wow.
Yeah, because the buck stops there.
Right, you had to know about it. He had to know about it. He had to set it up.
Because most of the citizens knew about it.
Right. Everybody knew about it, and he didn't do anything about it. I think they should be punished
because the word on the street in Baton Rouge, Louisiana was,
right,
don't mouth off to the cops if you get pulled over.
Right.
Because they're going to take you to the Brave Cave and do something to you.
Wow.
Oh, and let me tell you something. The suit also mentioned the unnamed female officer.
Who was that?
Yeah, they didn't name her.
Oh, they didn't name her.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had it through all your
And
underground
like
connections.
you said, the suit claimed that not only did the officers and top brass know about the warehouse used for detainees abuse, but they also made coordinated efforts to shield knowledge of its existence.
Wow.
That's what they trying to say. Anybody mentioned, hey, they took me to this Brave Cave, this torture warehouse, and they beat me and raped me. This is a dude talking.
Right.
All right? Beating and raped him, took a nightstick or whatever,
Well, that's crazy.
and violated him with it. Okay? You better tell who got the drugs. I don't know nothing about some drugs. You better make something up.
Give me any name.
Give me any name.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. And what they would do is they would turn off their body-worn cameras. And then, force people to the ground, humiliate them, remove their pants to search them. All right? You got something up your backside and look up your backside.
Yeah. How do the police expect us to respect them?
Two.
You can't.
You can't.
Exactly. You can't respect a person or organization that allows this to go on, period. How we're not comprehending that? I don't understand.
One day after the news of the Brave Cave became public, the Baton Rouge mayor shut the facility down.
The mayor know about it too? How you
Yeah.
Yo, man.
He knew about it.
Yo.
He knew about it.
That's crazy.
And one of the officers resigned the same day. He did so much dirt, he said, you know what, I quit.
Right.
Yeah.
He was one of the main ringleaders in the that's crazy,
Yeah.
yo. Oh my God.
And now the FBI has opened a civil rights investigation to examine whether members of the police department abused their authority. Are you kidding me? Is it possible that they abused their authority? Okay, taking people and detaining them in a secret location, beating them, doing sexual freaky stuff to them.
But not only did they abuse their authority, the mayor and the chief abused their authority too for letting it go down. They're the one that really should be punished for letting that go on.
Because crap rolls downhill.
That's right. If you get locked up for something your kid did, and where does the responsibility lies with all the people that you have control? You have 40 and 50 people to 100 people that is working under your wings.
Right.
And you letting this go on, you should be the one that's punished the most.
Right. That's word. Because you're the head of this.
Right. You letting all this go down in your home.
Right.
If we're responsible for our home as parents, you should be responsible for your home as leaders.
That's right. Bigger than being. Now, you remember last week, I talked about Dexter Wade.
Yeah.
Okay, Dexter Wade, who was run over by a police cruiser in March and buried in Hinds County's pauper field in July without his family's knowledge.
Right.
Okay.
And they knew his family.
Right.
They knew his...
Not only did they know his family, but they had already killed his uncle.
Yeah.
Okay? They already killed his uncle. And when his family, came forward and complained about this.
Right.
All right. All of a sudden, another one of their family members turns up dead, run over by a police cruiser. It was an accident. My ass. And so they didn't tell the family about it. They just buried him, and the family didn't find out for 172 days.
Wow.
Now, you would think that an incident like this, was probably an aberration. It was an accident. It's not something they would normally do, right?
Yeah.
Now, BS. BS?
BS?
Oh, yeah. Because Mario Moore, 40 years old, was beaten to death in February. Authorities buried him in a pauper's grave in July, and his family didn't find out till October. That's two. Marquita Moore was lying on her sofa at home on the night of October 10th when she got a text from her aunt. It was a link to an article revealing that Jackson police have failed to notify the public about dozens of homicides. Okay? Dozens of homicides. We don't know who beat this man to death.
Yes, we do. Because when it's not announced and they're not searching for no one, they are the suspect. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, what Marquita Moore did was she scrolled through the list of the 24 homicide victims. The second name on the list was her older brother, Mario Terrell Moore, 40, who had been killed February 2nd. And, of course, this is an unsolved murder. Yeah. And, of course, she started to cry and shudder. Lord, this is my brother. Someone done killed my brother. Someone. Okay? It was after 8 p.m. She was in her pajamas. She put on a jacket and shoes and went to the Jackson Police Department downtown headquarters looking for an explanation. An officer told her no one was available. Someone killed him.
Wow.
Yeah. And they didn't tell her for months. He was killed in July. She didn't find out until October. Someone killed him.
How long do they expect us to put up with this?
I don't know.
I mean,
how long are we
going to put up this? That could be your sister, your mom, your cousin, your aunt, your daughter, your grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, this could happen to you. This is right next door happening. This ain't far away.
No.
This ain't across the seas.
No. Like you said, this is right here happening.
Right. This is right here happening. Your next door neighbor probably had this happen to him.
Yeah.
So how you feeling about that? That could be your son or your daughter.
That's right. But what are we going to do?
Right.
We're going to march, pray, and protest.
Kumbaya. That's what my boy called it.
Yeah.
Big up to Miss Bob. Kumbaya. Aren't you tired of Kumbaya?
Yeah.
What has it got us this far? Exactly, man. Come on, man.
And I'm not
up.
singing Kumbaya with some people that are looking to kill me.
Right.
That's nothing.
That's crazy, man.
That's right.
I don't get
now, I want you to check this out. This is from a brother named Levert the Bassman. All right, he's a TikToker.
Levert the Bassman?
Levert the Bassman.
What's good, Levert the Bassman?
Yeah, check this brother out. This brother ain't no joke. He's a historian, teacher.
Okay.
All right, check this out. All right, this is Levert the Bassman on police culture. When racism is built into the institution, it emerges as the collective action of its entire population and a prime example of an institution built on racism.
Right.
Is not just America, but it's also her police force. In the beginning, the police served three main functions: to protect white people from the indigenous, to control the movements of Africans they enslaved, and to enforce laws written by white supremacists that uphold whites' superiority disorder. It's literally the profession of oppression. The profession of oppression. In order to achieve their objectives, they created a culture of violence, intimidation, racism, and terrorism. Brutality isn't a bug in the program, right? Police. It's a major feature. They literally teach themselves how to brutalize someone, and when they take it too far, they turn a blind eye, investigate themselves, and found that they've done nothing wrong.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is their culture.
They don't even say sorry.
That is their
that'll
culture.
be admitting and showing weakness. Right.
The culture of police is violence, intimidation, racism, and terrorism. That is their cultural heritage, their legacy. Since their inception, they've been taught to dehumanize people by calling them suspects, perps, thugs. They dehumanize them, so it makes it easier for them to brutalize people. That's their culture.
And it ain't people, it's blacks. They don't dehumanize white people.
That's their culture.
They don't. When they stop them in the traffic stop, they don't dehumanize white people. They only do it to black people.
What that cop say when he pulled that white woman over? What you all nervous for? We only kill black people.
Yeah. How are we still letting them control and be?
That's their culture.
Yo.
That's the environment they created. Implicit bias plays a large role in how police operate.
Wow.
From the beginning, they've been taught to view non-white people as suspicious. And you're a suspect, you're born suspect.
Right.
That is part of their culture, the environment that they created. Just like everyone who participates in Western culture agree that blue jeans are the pants of choice, those who participate in police culture agree that non-white people are suspicious and that black people are criminal elements by society by dint of their existence.
Wow, man.
So if you've chosen the profession of oppression, that means you agree to its terms and conditions. It doesn't matter what race you are. You agree to oppress people in the most violent way possible. Which is why you can hear one of the officers in the video say, I hope they stomp him out. Let me go over that last paragraph again.
Wow, man.
If you've chosen the profession of oppression, that means you agree to its terms and conditions, and it doesn't matter what race you are.
But you have some people that joins that to try to be that better person and try to straighten it out.
But that's not their culture. Their culture is racism and terrorism and oppression. That's their culture. So when you're a black cop and you join that culture thinking that you're going to make a change, make a difference.
Right.
All right. Let me tell you what's going to happen. It's going to come down to, do you choose that uniform or do you choose your skin color? Because as long as you got on that uniform, your goddamn pigmentation should be given no consideration. It's their culture.
Right, and they threaten you they'll kill you. They don't care about if
that's right.
They will get rid of you just like they get rid of anybody else.
Let me break this.
Something to say.
Let me have Brother Levert finish breaking this down. It's part of their culture. It's normal to them. He can say, "Stomp them out." Out loud to other officers without fear of retribution because it's normalized to them. That is their culture. The culture of policing is violence, intimidation, racism, terrorism, and silence. There's a thin blue line that police know not to cross. That's what you're alluding to. Because if one officer speaks out about another officer, that officer who blew the whistle is demonized, abused, terrorized, fired, or reprimanded because of this continent. It's your civic duty to mistreat a marginalized group of people, and the police have been doing this consistently since the 1520s.
You said it's your duty.
It's your duty.
Say that line again.
Officer. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen.
Because you know one thing that Brother Levert left out here, when he said if you blew the whistle, you're demonized, abused, terrorized, fired, or reprimanded.
Right.
Or killed.
Or killed, definitely.
Or killed.
Or killed.
And this has been their culture since the inception of policing in the 1520s. WHGE 95.3 FM, the open eye, I'll be damned.
Gaga. And they talk about Blood and Crips and all the gangs that's out here. They the worst gang that's going down. Do you hear what this man is saying? Hey, listen, man. I don't understand that the fact that we don't, as black people, have our own black gang, period. Just black people become one gang. And then see what happens. Stop spending money with them. Spend money with your own people. Build up our own communities. Like, really protect and police our own communities. That's where we have to start thinking. That's where we have to start going.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Nsoromma was making some comments about protecting our own community, doing our own thing. All right? But see, we get caught up in some things.
What?
All right? For instance, many of our women,
right,
they like Louis Vuitton bags.
Right.
These bags cost about $5,000.
Yeah.
You go buy a Louis Vuitton bag for $5,000 and you got a goddamn $100 bill in there. And you're looking at some brother to take you out to dinner because you done spent all your money on that Louis Vuitton bag for $5,000.
But it's just the concept with me for you to go, okay, I'll take a $5,000 bag instead of having a $40 bag with $4,680 in it, or whatever. You know
exactly.
I can't grasp around the thinking of that.
No,
and then I don't get it.
I saw this game on whatever it was.
What? Anyway,
you know how you play the games on your phone, and they, you get an ad, and another game comes up, and this guy standing there, and he had choices,
right?
And his choice was to buy $100,000 car or buy an $80,000 business. As soon as you drive the car off the parking lot, the value decreases.
He picked the car back.
He picked the car.
That's crazy. And you can't have if it's an $80,000 business, it's $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
So you're making $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
And $20,000 in your pocket. Come on, man. But
you know what? I'm dressed to the nines. I'm sharp. I ain't got no money. But boy,
I can't put no gas in my car.
Yeah, I look nice.
Come on, man.
That's
I'm
what-
parked right here all week. I'm good. I just keep my thing clean. Come on, man.
Yeah.
We got to stop thinking like that.
That's
crazy.
what we gotta do.
How crazy is that? Think about
that's
that.
real crazy.
Wow.
That's where. Look, let me get on to this. Thank Brother Jardea for bringing
Thanks,
this
Brother
up.
Jardel. What's good, homie?
All right. Ancient name of Africa. Before the Europeans settled for the word Africa, the continent was called by many other names. Okay, I don't agree with all of this, and I'm gonna break it down.
Okay.
These names include Kraphi, Artesia, Libya, and Ethiopia, Akubalan.
Right.
Other names such as the land of Ham, Ham means dark skins, mother of mankind, the Garden of Eden, kingdoms in the sky, and the land of Cush,
Right.
referring to the Cushites, who were ancient Ethiopians. No one knows the source of the names for sure. However, the theories below shed some light on how this second largest continent got its new name. Roman theory. Some scholars believe that the word originated from Romans. Romans discovered a land opposite the Mediterranean and named it after the Berber tribe residing within the Carthage area, presently referred to as Tunisia, and the tribe's name was Afri. Then there's the weather theory. Some believe that the name was coiled from the continent's climate, deriving from Afrik, a Greek word that means a land free from cold and horror, a variation of the Roman word Afrika, which means sunny, or even the Phoenician word Afar, which means dust. And then there's the Africus theory. This claims that the continent derived its name from Africus. Africus is a Yemenite chieftain who invaded the northern part in the 2nd millennium BC. It is argued that he settled on his conquered land and named it Africa. There's the Phoenician theory. Another school of thought suggests that the name is derived from two Phoenician words, friki and farika. The words mean corns and fruits when translated. Hypothetically, the Phoenicians christened the continent as the land of corns and fruit. And there's Akubalan, mother of mankind, or Garden of Eden. Akubalan is thought to be the oldest and the only word of indigenous origin. It was used by Moors and Nubians.
Akubalan.
Akubalan. Yeah. Akubalan is actually an Arab word, so we know that's not the case. Okay. Now, here's what I contend. The name of Africa and where it came from. Okay. The name of Africa is not mysterious nor complicated.
Okay.
Where it comes from is actually quite basic and makes a lot of sense.
How basic is it, brother?
Okay. The land was first named in Kemet, which we know is Egypt.
Right.
Af, meaning house. Ra, indicating God. Ka, meaning spirit. Africa, house of God's spirit. We are the children of the house of God's spirit, Africa. Wear it with honor. We are Africans burnt in God's own furnace. Nothing complicated about that. If you don't think so, just look at your melanated skin in the mirror. Right? Coming up to a close here, brother. It's after 12 o'clock.
Oh, word.
Unbelievably, yeah. And so often I hear my people complain we need to change our condition and consciousness. But when presented with a means to do so, they ignore it. They don't tune into the open eye. It's your chance to change your consciousness.
Right. Or find out what it is you need to know. Talk to us. Call in. Text us.
And then some of these same people can name every wretched character on Love and Hip Hop. I don't even know if the show is on anymore.
I mean, man.
Had I written a book about how to catch women with the biggest backside or the top 10 weaves, it would be flying off the shelf.
Distraction.
I actually gave a couple of people my book for free and they still wouldn't read it. Gave them the work I poured my heart and soul into and no charge, and they never read it. That's sad.
Right. And that's your friends and your family and the closest ones to you that you may expect to want to know.
That's right.
And they don't.
And don't mistake our work for the renting of some wild-eyed militant Malcolm X Farrakhan wannabe. We're nothing of the kind. It's the result of intense study of our history and present condition and deep concern for the plight of our people.
True.
Nor is it the wisdom or the effort of some pseudo-intellectual who through their own great wisdom and vision would be the savior of the black man.
We have to save ourselves.
It is an effort to further the ideals fermented by Marcus Garvey, intellectualized by Du Bois, and finally expressed by people like Chancellor Williams and Dr. John Henrik Clark.
Pat Gibbs.
Thank you, sir. This writer, these hosts here, who are comparatively infants in the struggle, were a conduit of the wisdom and the knowledge that was passed down. And our plans are not set in stone. It's not the end all, the beat all. We don't claim it to be. But it's a proposal, a place to start. Now, the black man may continue his self-destructive course, weak and ununified, exploited, and forever subject to the whim of the oppressor.
Right.
This tragic situation may continue into an uncertain future, but never let it be said, no one, no member of the black race studied the main problem from a historical perspective and offered a solution to take us into the future. Never again let it be said, no one tried to point a possible path out of the abyss of oppression. It's the open eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority.
Who treat you as an option.
Thanks for joining us. WHGE 95.3. The Open Eye.
Yo, it's your boy. As you always know, he started going in real hard. Time run out. So, thanks for joining in. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got 17 jobs. I always come in and, I let him do his thing. But listen, Mr. Gibbs.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like I always tell you, it's coming. Global African supremacy, okay? Look at the cities in Africa. Some of the cities in Africa are mega cities. And by 2100, okay, these cities will have a bigger population than a lot of European countries. Global African supremacy. The world was a much better place when the black man ruled.
Yaga. And yo, tune in next Saturday. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yo, we're streaming on all platforms too. You know that, right? Nsoromma, Mr. Gibbs.
All right.
Yaga.